Barcelona has 26 incredible things you need to do, and in this video, we're covering every single one with real 2026 prices and insider tips you won't find in a guidebook. Stay till the end, because the last few on this list are seriously underrated. 1. Visit Sagrada Familia. We're starting with one that will genuinely stop you mid-step, Sagrada Familia. And before you say, yeah, I've seen the pictures, nothing prepares you for the real thing. The outside alone is almost hard to process. Every single facade is different, carved with this insane level of detail that makes you wonder how it's even possible, but stepping inside, that's when your jaw actually hits the floor. The columns rise up like a stone forest, and the stained glass windows flood the entire space with a color in a way that feels almost magical. There's no other building like it on Earth. Basic entry starts at $29 26 euro, or around $40 36 euro if you add a tower visit, and honestly, just add the tower. One heads up, a century surcharge is in effect through December 2026, so prices are running slightly higher than usual right now. Everything is booked online only. Slots sell out weeks in advance, so don't leave this one until the last minute. Insider tip. Go on a sunny day or time it for late morning. That's when the light through the stained glass is absolutely unreal. For the tower, pick the nativity side for the best views over the city. 2. Wander around Park Guell. You know those places that look incredible in photos but feel a little flat when you actually get there? Park Guell is the complete opposite. It's somehow even better in person. This is another one of Gaudi's creations, and the man clearly has zero interest in doing anything the normal way. Colorful mosaics everywhere, a dragon staircase, winding sculpted archways, and a huge open terrace where you can look out over the entire city. It's unlike anything else in Barcelona. The main highlights are all inside the monumental zone, which costs $20, 18 euros for adults, with reduced rates for children and seniors. Tickets are timed entry and online only, and they do sell out, so don't wing it on this one. Insider tip. Book the 9:30 a.m. slot if you can. The difference in crowd levels compared to midday is night and day. And don't make the mistake of taking the metro to Lesseps and walking uphill in the heat. Hop on bus 24 from Plaça de Catalunya instead. It drops you right at the entrance, 2 minutes flat from the gate, and you'll spend your whole visit walking downhill. Small move, big difference. 3. Explore Casa Batllo. If Sagrada Familia is Gaudi at his most monumental, Casa Batllo is Gaudi at his most playful. And it might just be the most visually stunning building you walk through on this entire trip. The facade already turns heads from the street with its mosaic tiles, skull-like balconies, and wavy roofline, but nothing prepares you for the inside. Curved walls, flowing shapes, a central light well covered in blue tiles that shift in shade. Every single room feels alive. Standard entry, which includes the rooftop, starts at around $38, 35 euro, with the early access Be the First ticket at around $54, 50 euro. The rooftop alone is worth it. Gaudi's dragon scale terrace is one of the most photographed spots in the city. Insider tip. If photos matter to you, splurge on the Be the First ticket. You enter at 8:30 a.m. before the crowds arrive and practically have the whole building to yourself. Show up 20 minutes early, and you could be the very first person through the door. 4. Step inside Casa Milà, La Pedrera. Just a short walk from Casa Batllo on Passeig de Gràcia sits Casa Milà, also known as La Pedrera, which translates to the Stone Quarry, a nickname locals gave it back in 1912 when they thought it looked ridiculous. Now, it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The wavy stone exterior and wrought iron balconies make it impossible to miss, and while the interior is interesting, the real star of the show is the rooftop. It's covered in surreal warrior-like chimneys and sculptural structures that look like something from another planet, and the views from Barcelona are genuinely spectacular. Daytime entry starts at around $28, 25 euro, with an audio guide included, while the evening experience runs about $44, 39 euro. booking in advance is a must, especially in peak season. Insider tip. If you want something special, the evening experience with light projections on the rooftop terrace is one of the most atmospheric things you can do in Barcelona. Worth every cent. 5. Join a tapas walking tour. Before you do anything else food-related in Barcelona, do this. A tapas walking tour is hands down one of the best ways to dive into the city, not just for the food, but for the stories, the neighborhoods, and the local knowledge you'll pick up along the way. You'll hit multiple spots, try classics like patatas bravas, jamón iberico, and local wines or vermouth. And you'll come away with a list of places to go back to for the rest of your trip. Tours typically run around $68 to $100, 62 to 90 euro per person, depending on the operator, and most include food and drinks at 3 to 4 stops. Groups are kept small, which makes the whole experience feel more like a night out with friends than a tour. Insider tip. Do this on your first or second day. The local restaurant tips you'll pick up are worth the price of admission alone. It completely changes how you eat for the rest of your trip. 6. Stroll along La Rambla. La Rambla is one of those streets you'll end up on whether you plan to or not, and that's not a bad thing. The wide, tree-lined boulevard stretches from Plaça de Catalunya all the way to the waterfront and is always buzzing with life, street performers, flower stalls, outdoor cafes, and a constant flow of people from every corner of the world. It's completely free to walk and makes for a great introduction to the city. Just keep your wits about you. This stretch is well known for pickpockets, so keep your bag in front of you and your phone in your pocket. Insider tip. La Rambla itself is more of a connecting route than a destination. Use it to get from A to B and peel off into the side streets, which is where the real Barcelona lives. 7. Explore Mercat de la Boqueria. Just off La Rambla, Mercat de la Boqueria is a feast for all the senses. Literally. The market is packed with colorful stalls selling fresh fruit, seafood, cured meats, pastries, spices, and about 100 things you'll want to eat immediately. It's completely free to wander, though you'll almost certainly spend something once you're inside. The fresh fruit juices alone are worth stopping for. They're some of the best you'll find anywhere in the city. Yes, it's touristy, but it's also genuinely wonderful, especially early in the morning when it's quieter and the vendors are still setting up. Insider tip. Get there before 10 a.m. if you can. By late morning, it gets absolutely packed and it stops being enjoyable. The early visit is a completely different experience. 8. Get lost in the Gothic Quarter. The Gothic Quarter is the kind of place where you'll look up from your phone and realize you have absolutely no idea where you are, and you won't care even slightly. The narrow medieval streets, hidden plazas, ancient archways, and surprise courtyards make it one of the most atmospheric neighborhoods in all of Europe. You'll stumble across tiny coffee shops, independent boutiques, and centuries-old bars tucked into buildings that have been standing since the Roman era. It's completely free to explore and best done without a plan. Just wander and see where you end up. Insider tip. Keep an eye out for the Pont del Bisbe, a gorgeous neo-Gothic bridge connecting two buildings above a narrow alley. It's one of the most photographed spots in the quarter, and most people walk right past it. 9. Visit Barcelona Cathedral. Right in the heart of the Gothic Quarter sits Barcelona Cathedral, and it absolutely earns its place on this list. The Gothic facade is one of the most striking in the city, and stepping inside reveals soaring ceilings, ornate side chapels, and one of the most peaceful cloisters you've ever set foot in, complete with 13 white geese that have lived there for centuries. But the real highlight is the rooftop. Take the elevator up and walk along the terraces for some of the best views over the Gothic Quarter you'll find anywhere. Entry with rooftop access costs around $14, 13 euro, making it one of the best value experiences in the city. Insider tip. Visit early morning or late afternoon to avoid the crowds, and don't skip on the rooftop. Seeing the cathedral's towers and the surrounding medieval rooftops from above is a perspective most visitors never get. 10. See a flamenco show. If you're wondering what to do on your first evening in Barcelona, here's your answer. Even though flamenco originates from southern Spain, you can find genuine world-class performances right here in the city. And watching it live is a completely different experience from anything you've seen on video. The stamping, the guitar, the raw emotion, it gets into your chest in a way that's hard to explain. Shows at venues like Theatre Barcelona City Hall start from around $27 €25 for standard seating, with VIP front row options with a drink included running a bit higher. There are usually multiple shows per day, but the best time slots fill out fast, especially in summer. Insider tip: splurge for the Zone A or VIP seating. Being close to the stage makes an enormous difference to how the performance hits you. Back row seats are fine, but up close it's an entirely different experience. 11. Take in the views from a rooftop bar. Barcelona is a city best appreciated from above, and catching it at golden hour from a rooftop is one of those experiences you'll be talking about for years. The rooftop bar at Cirque Hotel Roussillon is arguably the best in the city. It sits directly facing Sagrada Familia, and watching the light change across Gaudi's towers while sipping on a drink is something else entirely. Drinks are fairly priced, and the food is good too. Another great option is L'Attic at Hotel Lamado, which has an incredible view of Barcelona Cathedral. Most rooftop drinks run at around $10 to $18 or 9 to 16 euros, depending on the venue. No entry fee, just the cost of what you order. Insider tip: Cirque Hotel Roussillon fills up fast and requires a reservation. Book at least a few days ahead, especially on weekends. L'Attic doesn't take reservations, so show up early and be prepared to wait a little. 12. Relax at Barceloneta Beach. When the sightseeing starts to feel like work, this is your reset button. Barceloneta Beach is Barcelona's main city beach. Wide, sandy, and just a short walk from the old town. The water is usually calm and clean, the promenade is filled with restaurants and bars, and the whole vibe is relaxed and easy. Sunbeds are available to rent for a few euros, or just throw down a towel for free. For a quick and easy lunch, grab takeaway pizza from Napmad and eat it on the sand. One of the best low-key meals you can have in the city. Insider tip: keep an eye on your belongings, particularly your phone and bag. Beach theft is common in Barceloneta. If you're going in the water, go with someone who can watch your things. 13. Visit Palau de la Música Catalana. This is the one that surprises people the most, and once you're standing inside, you'll understand why it's considered one of the most beautiful concert halls in the world. The Palau de la Música Catalana is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and a masterpiece of Catalan modernism, and the interior is jaw-dropping in the most literal sense. The stained glass ceiling alone looks like a giant inverted crown of colored light, and every surface is covered in mosaics, sculptures, and intricate details that reward a slow look. Self-entry starts from around $20 18 euro, while a guided tour runs about $24 22 euro. Concert tickets vary depending on the performance, but typically start from $42 38 euro. Insider tip: book the earliest time slot to enjoy the space with almost nobody else around, and make sure to step out onto the balcony with the colorful columns. It's one of the most photogenic spots in the entire building. 14. Take a day trip to Montserrat. About an hour outside Barcelona, Montserrat is one of those places that genuinely feels otherworldly. Dramatic rocky peaks rise straight out of the landscape, and perched right among them is a Benedictine monastery that's been there since the 11th century. Inside, you'll find the famous Black Madonna and a basilica with a history that goes back centuries. The views from the trails above the monastery are some of the best in all of Catalonia. The easiest way to get there is on a guided day trip from Barcelona, which starts from around $55 50 euro. If you prefer to go independently, the train and cable car or rack railway combo costs around $30 to $35 27 to 32 euro round trip. Insider tip: the logistics of getting there independently can be tricky. train and cable car schedules don't always line up, and if you miss a connection, waiting times are long. A guided tour takes all the stress out of it and often includes extras like wine tasting and tapas. 15. Ride the cable car to Montjuïc Castle. For one of the best panoramic views in all of Barcelona, head up to Montjuïc and take the cable car to the top. The ride itself is half the experience. You glide up over the city and coastline in a glass cabin, with the whole of Barcelona spread out below you. At the top sits Montjuïc Castle, a 17th century fortress with a complicated history and incredible views in every direction. A round-trip cable car ticket starts at around $19, €17, and castle entry is an additional few euros. The views from the upper terrace of the castle are some of the wildest you'll get over the city. Insider tip. Combine your cable car ride with the magic fountain show in the evening. Both are in the Montjuïc area and make for a brilliant full afternoon and evening out. 16. Visit the National Art Museum of Catalonia, MNAC. Even if art museums aren't really your thing, this one's worth visiting for the building and the views alone. MNAC sits inside the magnificent Palau Nacional on the slopes of Montjuïc, and the architecture's genuinely spectacular. Inside, the collection spans centuries of Catalan art, from Romanesque murals to modernist masterpieces. General admission is around $13, €12, and the first Sunday of every month is free. But the real secret here is the rooftop terrace. Take the elevator up next to the Oval Cafe inside for 360-degree views over Barcelona that most visitors never find. Insider tip. The rooftop is free with museum entry and is one of the best-kept secret viewpoints in the city. Higher and wider than the terraces out front. Absolutely don't miss it. 17. Watch the show at the Magic Fountain of Montjuïc. This one is completely free and completely unmissable. The Magic Fountain of Montjuïc puts on a synchronized show of water, light, and music that sounds simple on paper and looks absolutely spectacular in person. The fountain shoots jets of water high into the air while colored lights pulse in time with the music. It draws huge crowds for a good reason. Shows run on selected evenings depending on the season, so check out the schedule before you go. No tickets, no cost, just show up. Insider tip. The shows happen several times per evening. If your first viewing spot isn't great, stick around and reposition for the next show. It runs multiple times and you'll find a better angle. 18. Sip cocktails at Paradiso. Here's something most visitors don't know. Barcelona is home to not one, but two of the world's top cocktail bars. Paradiso is currently ranked in the world's top 5, and the moment you arrive, you'll understand why. The entrance is hidden behind what looks like a regular pastrami sandwich shop. You push through the fridge door and step into a speakeasy-style bar where every single cocktail is a work of art. Drinks typically run $15 to $22, 14 to €20 each, and they're absolutely worth it. Creative, beautifully presented, and often served with a theatrical element that makes each one an event in itself. Insider tip. There's usually a queue in the evening. Look for the QR code at the entrance to join the digital waitlist so you're not just standing around. And while you wait, get one of their pastrami sandwiches. They're excellent. 19. Go on a sunset cruise along the Barcelona coastline. Seeing Barcelona from the water is one of those experiences that changes how you see the whole city. Most sunset cruises depart from Park Guell and take you along the coastline with views of the skyline, the beaches, and landmarks like the W Hotel. Timing it for sunset is the move. The light over the city as the sun drops is something special. Catamaran cruises with drinks and music start from around $44, €40 per person, while smaller sailing boats are available if you prefer something calmer. Insider tip. Book a few days in advance. Sunset slots fill up fast, especially in summer. If you're after a more relaxed experience, go for a smaller sailing boat rather than the party catamaran. 20. Visit Casa Vicens. Most people racing between Sagrada Familia, Park Guell, and Casa Batllo completely skip this one, and they're missing out. Casa Vicens was Gaudi's very first major work, and it looks completely different from anything else he ever built. The design draws heavily on Moorish and Oriental influences, covered in colorful geometric tiles and detailed brickwork that almost feels like it belongs in Morocco or Istanbul. Because it flies under the radar compared to the other Gaudi sites, it's also far less crowded, which means you can actually take your time and enjoy it. Entry starts from around $23 21 euro for skip-the-line access. Insider tip: this is the one Gaudi site where you won't feel rushed or jostled. If you want a peaceful, genuinely immersive experience with his work, this is it. Budget about an hour, including the rooftop terrace and small garden. 21. Explore the Picasso Museum. The Picasso Museum isn't just a great art museum, it's a great Barcelona story. Housed across 5 interconnected 13th and 15th century Gothic palaces in Elborn, the museum focuses on Picasso's early years in the city, and seeing how he developed from a prodigious teenager into one of the most influential artists in history is genuinely fascinating. The highlight is the complete Las Meninas series, 57 paintings Picasso created in direct dialogue with Velázquez's masterpiece. General admission starts at $17 15 euros, or $21 19 euro, with the temporary exhibition included. The first Sunday of the month and Thursday afternoons are free, though you'll need to book ahead even for free slots. 22. Discover Elborn. Speaking of Elborn, this neighborhood deserves its own spot on the list. It's got the same narrow streets and historic feel as the Gothic Quarter, but with a slightly more relaxed local vibe. Independent boutiques, excellent wine bars, hidden courtyards, and some of the best casual restaurants in the city are all packed into a relatively small area that's easy to explore on foot. It's also home to the stunning Basilica of Santa Maria del Mar, one of the finest examples of Catalan Gothic architecture anywhere. Everything here is free to wander, just budget for drinks and food because you'll absolutely want to stop. Insider tip: Elborn is best explored on an evening when the bars and restaurants come alive. Wander in without a plan, duck into whatever looks good, and let the neighborhood do the rest. 23. See the Arc de Triomphe. Barcelona's own Arc de Triomphe often surprises visitors who stumble across it for the first time. Built for the 1888 World's Fair, it's made of red brick and elaborate decorative sculptures, and it sits at the end of a wide, palm-lined promenade that's one of the prettiest pedestrian stretches in the city. It's completely free to visit and makes for a great photo stop, especially with the long boulevard leading up to it. It's also just a short walk from Park de la Ciutadella, so it fits perfectly into a longer stroll through this part of the city. 24. Walk through Park de la Ciutadella. If you need a breather from the streets and sightseeing, Park de la Ciutadella is exactly where you want to be. This is Barcelona's main city park. Wide paths, shady trees, open lawns, and a beautiful grand fountain that looks like something from a fairy tale. There's also a lake where you can rent a rowboat for a few euros, which is a brilliant way to spend an hour. The park is free to enter and makes for a perfect morning or afternoon detour, especially if you're already in the Elborn or Arc de Triomphe area. Insider tip: the rowboats on the lake rent for around $7, 6 euros for 45 minutes, and are one of the most fun, low-key activities in the city. Very popular on weekends. Go on a weekday if you want to skip the queue. 25. Explore Camp Nou. Even if football isn't your thing, stepping into Camp Nou is something else. It's one of the most famous stadiums in the world, home to FC Barcelona, and the sheer scale of the place is hard to fully comprehend until you're standing in it. The stadium is currently under renovation, so the classic pitchside tour isn't available right now, but the Barça Immersive Tour more than makes up for it. You get the museum, interactive exhibits, a 360-degree audio-visual experience, and a construction viewpoint where you can see the new stadium taking shape. Tickets start at around $44, 40 euro. Insider tip: book online in advance, especially during school holidays when queues can be very long. The VR experience and RoboKeeper Challenge are fun additional add-ons that are worth it if you're going with kids. 26. Visit Tibidabo. When finishing on the highest point in Barcelona, literally, Tibidabo sits at the top of Collserola Hills above the city, and the views from up here are unlike anything you get in Barcelona. On a clear day, you can see all the way to the sea and beyond. At the top, there's a charming old amusement park, one of the oldest in Europe, and the stunning Temple of the Sacred Heart, which you can climb to the very top of for even more breathtaking views. The funicular ride up to the summit costs around $10 US, €9 return, and amusement park entry is around $35 US, €32. Getting there takes a bit of planning, with a combination of metro and tram, but the effort is absolutely worth it. Insider tip: go on a clear day. There's no point in making the journey if the visibility is poor. Check the weather forecast the night before and save this one for your clearest afternoon. And that's your complete guide to the 26 best things to do in Barcelona. Whether you've got 3 days or a full week, this city will reward you every minute you give it. And honestly, most people leave wishing they'd stayed longer. If you found this video helpful, hit the like button and subscribe so you don't miss our next destination guide. And if you're still in planning mode, check out our Música video where we map out exactly how to fit the best of this list into different trip lengths. Thanks for watching, safe travels, and we'll see you in the next one.